And we're live.
All right. Welcome everyone to the ArtWorks presentation of Soothing the Path to Legal Success. We're sharing this information uh, about ArtWorks today, discussing ArtWorks Legal Residency Program. We're going to jump right into the outline of the program for today. Let's take a look at the agenda. So today we'll be discussing a few points to give information about who we are. We'll be discussing the need for the residency program itself, sharing some valuable research from City Bar and the ABA. We'll be discussing the importance of the intellectual property practice in itself in the real world, the journey to creating ArtWorks. We'll be discussing the 9-month program and all of the other offerings available. Finally, we'll close with a Q&A and tell you how you can participate in the residency program itself. I'm going to now pass the platform to Brooke, who will tell us a little bit about ArtWorks.
Thank you, Jeremy. ArtWorks is a division of Mercatech Development Institute Incorporated, an IRS designated 501c3 organization on a mission to job training and creation, economic advocacy, and access to legal services. Our legal residency program offers hands-on training and practice development for attorneys looking to build an intellectual property-based business law practice supporting creatives in science, fashion, entertainment, and the arts.
Thank you so much. The next slide will talk about the introduction of our speaker, and I'm going to now push the platform to Fran, and Fran will tell us about our speaker for the afternoon.
Thank you, Jeremy. Hello, everyone, and welcome to ArtWorks Legal Residency Program Virtual Information Center. My name is Fran Asaro, and I'm here to tell you that you are in for a real treat today. Zenga Wasemi, or Zen, as many of us call her, will be facilitating this webinar in just a few minutes. But before she begins, I wanted to share a little bit about her and how this webinar came to be. So for more than 20 years, Zen has held several positions as a legal analyst, in-house counsel, and business development strategist. She has coached and trained many new attorneys privately for the purpose of beta testing the modules she created for fast career Development Institute reached out to collaborate with her. As a practicing attorney, Zen also has a passion for supporting emerging legal professionals and help them thrive, mainly because she's been there and she knows exactly what you're going through. So she created this program to help shorten the path to a lucrative intellectual property career for new law students and for seasoned lawyers looking to exponentially grow their practice. Her commitment to help you shine by providing every essential element you need to launch your IP career or grow your existing firm. In other words, she wants you to know that you're not alone in the struggle to win, and she will help you any way possible to get you to the success level that you choose. So if you're ready to learn more about how you can access the shortest road possible to your business success, then please help me by welcoming Zen.
Hi.
Pardon me for that little glitchy over here. Can we turn? Oh, so I do want to thank Fran, Mrs. Sarah, for giving me that beautiful introduction, and she's absolutely correct that I do consider it a great honor that the board of directors asked me to lead this program. And it's basically this intro session is the welcome. Welcome to ArtWorks. I call it the next chapter on the legal frontier because ArtWorks is the next chapter. It's an innovative program. And that's not my opinion alone. We have studies upon studies, and we have one up already now. Can you go back? Let me go back to the prior study I want to talk about. We have studies upon studies published by our stalwart institutions, and they've said the same thing. Innovation in the practice of law is necessary. Most importantly, that innovation should be focused on the need for new practicing attorneys or practice area transitioning attorneys to have increased amount of professional development and support. Mr. Campbell, can you read that study the ABA did in 1992?
I can read it, Zan.
In 1992, the ABA Task Force on Law Schools and the Profession released a report that said, in essence, there is a need for new lawyers to gain practical experience in the years following law school graduation. No one did anything.
And that's right. So nothing was done, right? That was in 1992. What about 2012? Can we take it back a slide? 2012? And Francisco, I'd like you to help me out there.
Of course. 20 years later, in 2012, the Hanover Research commissioned by the ABA to examine how law schools were supporting recent graduates as they started to work in solo and small firm practice. This report merely made it less than a hunch. It put facts on paper and made a case for this level of innovation.
So you have the 1992 study, and I always pause and say, well, shoot, was I even out of high school then? That's how old this study was. And it took 2 decades before we got the 2012 Hanover research. But I love this one because, as Francisco said, it puts facts to paper and it made a case for innovation, this level of innovation. Mr. Campbell, can you read the next slide? And the next year there was another study, I believe, by the City Bar.
In 2013, a report was published by the New York City Bar Association Task Force on New Lawyers. To have a couple quotes, new lawyer preparation does not end on graduation day. Curriculum-based continuing legal education, in other words, CLEs, and mentoring are essential to help new lawyers transition successfully to practice. New lawyers need new types of training to compete in a changing professional environment.
I don't know, I'm having a little trouble here. Did he complete the slide? Did he read the slide, complete it? In essence, it's saying basically in 2013, the report he was talking about, there are 2 major quotes that we have up on the slide now by the City Bar. And the most important one that I want to focus on is that the City Bar, in addition to what the ABA said 21 years prior, new lawyers need new types of training to compete in the changing professional environment. Mr. Campbell, can you do the next study?
In 2016, a report was published by the ABA Standing Committee on the Delivery of Legal Services. This document gave legitimacy to such programs by stating that recently admitted lawyers were definitely helped by such programs in developing and launching new practices while expanding access. The task force also stated that such programs provide their participating lawyers with an array of educational and practice management tools so essential to professional competency.
So when you hear those terms, this study focused on not only the fact that attorneys, newly and recently admitted lawyers needed these kind of programs, it also expanded this upon the prior studies by stating that there needs to be access to justice, right? So it's about the necessity of providing good service. So attorneys need to be trained. And then they expanded it and added in the access to justice. So the question was posed, when you hear that term, access to justice, what comes to mind? Oftentimes when we do this, these webinars, when we hear access to justice, I'll see in the chat, well, I'm thinking about criminal law, or I'm thinking about landlord-tenant court, or family law. Those are the answers that I usually get in the chat. But I want to give you a few examples of where access to justice applies to intellectual property. Here are a few cases in the media. Take that in for a minute, because these are very notable people that I'm sure each of us, at least we know two of those individuals in this slide. So you have Blue Ivy, the trademark battle, right? So you have a company that has trademarked or registered their trademark Blue Ivy long before Beyonce's daughter was conceived. So when we think of access to justice, do we think of a small business? And small is a term of art. You know, this company actually has several regional offices and is constantly expanding. And so they did the right thing. They registered their mark, but they ended up in a battle with Blue Ivy's parents, the icons, Beyonce and Jay-Z. That's trademark. What about copyright? Look at the quote there where they said, "I will never forget the day we were millionaires for 5 minutes." That's crushing. Can you imagine being a millionaire and 5 minutes later you find out you're broke? That's copyright. And then we have something, a little bit of fashion law. We have Versace versus Fashion Nova. And this one's extremely interesting as well, because a lot of, what do they call it? Fast fashion, I believe, where a lot of creative people are designers that really fit into ArtWorks category of the people we serve. Their work is being replicated through fast fashion. And so I just thought it was interesting that in this case, Fashion Nova went so far as to try Versace and dare to enter that battle. And I'm loving it because Versace is such a big name, and Versace may be covering itself, but it's actually opening the doors to help in the fight of preventing fast fashion companies, manufacturers from stealing the work of our designers. And what about this one? Wow. So now, this is the one that always stops me in my tracks, because you have a recording artist, and that's their craft, right? They're recording artists, and I'm lumping Jay-Z, Beyonce, and TLC in the same group of recording artists. And, you know, maybe depending on the type of counsel they had, maybe they were not aware. Certainly this Blue Ivy company that was created long before Beyonce was pregnant with her daughter, right? I think about those people. My heart goes out to them. You know, a small business or a recording artist. And I think, wow, attorneys really, really need to be on the lookout for people, regardless of what category they are in professionally. They need access to justice. So my heart goes out to them. But then when we come up on the Obamas, that really just stuffed me in my tracks, because the leader of the free world and his brilliant wife, both Ivy League trained, wait for it, Ivy League trained attorneys, and they're involved in a trademark battle. And that's when I said, not only do the recording artists need it, not only do the small business need it, attorneys need to understand intellectual property to be able to properly protect their clients. So if you were approached with any of these cases right now, would you be prepared to handle it? Just think about that. As a new lawyer, as a senior attorney in another field, of course, as a business, if you found yourself in these circumstances, how would you be able to handle it? Most attorneys, they don't know. They don't know how to handle it. And when they say that, if you're thinking that yourself, just think about it. If the Obamas ended up in a battle like this, and we know that that is a power couple, not only in the sophistication that they walk and carry themselves with the intellect, they're brainiacs. So don't feel bad if you don't understand this stuff. Most lawyers don't understand it. So I always say, look, it's 2020. ArtWorks fills the gap. We talked about the studies, the 1992 study, the 2013, 2012, 2013 studies. We already have the stats to back us, and we already know that nothing's being done in the area of creativity. ArtWorks fills that gap, because you don't think about award-winning artists like Beyonce, or do you? Do we think about TLC or Dionne Warwick or others that have had to file bankruptcy or have even died impoverished, while their heirs are left to hear their work exploited or to see their creativity, knowing that their ancestor, their family member created this and died impoverished? Do we even think of someone tinkering in their basement or in their garage, or depending on where you live, on their stoop in their backyard, or Central Park? We used to do that kind of thing in Starbucks. Do we think about those people that are involved, vested in creativity, and they need a patent? Do we think about them? We don't think about the small businesses. And I can say that before I would ask, who do you think? Do you think about this? Now I've done this enough, and I've spoken to enough attorneys, enough business owners to know I don't even need to ask the question. I can say, we don't think about that business, Blue Ivy. We don't. We don't think that they need access to justice. So I'm just making the point that today, more than ever, we need a strong legal army to protect intellectual property rights and promote these creative businesses. Access to this stuff, these legal protections, right? Yes, we do need access to justice for indigent populations, as the last study said. They focused on indigent populations, but we must also promote creativity, because without innovation, we can't flip these lights on. We have no refrigeration for our food. We have no music to relax or dance to. We don't even have a device to play it on. We need a strong legal army to protect intellectual property rights and promote creative businesses. I'm sure you would agree. Think about it. I'm sure you would agree. So in the early stages of development of ArtWorks, I was able to apply 20 years of experience advising businesses, and specifically the last 15 years building my own legal transactions, commercial litigation, and general counsel practice. But like most, when I graduated law school, of course, I confidently launched my career, hitting potholes, scratching my knees, banging my shins along the way. There was a steep learning curve that I now know could have been completely eliminated, or at least significantly reduced. Because what took many years to learn is now neatly packaged in a step-by-step program that reduces that learning curve from years to mere months. Like every new attorney, I was faced with those hidden barriers most people could not understand, because to them, I was a lawyer. They couldn't fathom. I know many of you can relate. Either, you know, you're fresh out of law school, you're getting ready to graduate, or you've been practicing a bit. Nobody understands that journey. The graduation angst, right? What are you doing after law school? Do you have a job? Now we're in a pandemic. How are you going to feed yourself? What are you going to do? Graduation angst. Then now what? And then, of course, we have the sleepless nights. What if I can't answer a question that a client asks me? Or what if I'm in a meeting and I'm put on the spot? Or shoot, what if I'm just walking down the street and someone says, oh, what do you do? I'm an attorney. They ask me a question. I don't know. And of course, there's the work-life balance. When will I break even? You're working hard, you're enjoying what you do, but when will I break even? So the list goes on, and I want you to know you are not alone. This is totally, absolutely normal. So what takes many years to learn is now neatly packaged in a program just for you, reduced to mere months. It's not gonna take you years to get this information by trial and error. You don't have to bang your shins like I did. We have this amazing program for you. Our pilot program has helped me create the secret sauce. So at this point, I usually want to pause and give a shout out to all the new attorneys that came through ArtWorks, to all the externs and law students that came through ArtWorks, because those are the people that helped me create this secret sauce. I say it's secret, but it seems sensical. It seems like it makes sense that you would have business strategy, that you would have mentors, that you would have personal development and professional development, and then given opportunities to practice. It makes sense that that would equal success. Seems simple, yet aside from ArtWorks, it doesn't exist. ArtWorks has all of that and more. So now I want to take some time to tell you about our 9-month program. I say here, and I'm going to say a few more times, so get used to it. ArtWorks is guaranteed to ensure you a smooth path to success in our 9-month program. Our residency program is divided into 3 parts. You have Jumpstart, you have Module 1 Jumpstart, Module 2 is Rollout, and then Module 3 is Growth Cycle. And Jumpstart, you get 3 months to go deep, right? And in that time, you're going to focus on your goals assessment and planning. You're going to focus on brand development, and you're also going to focus on your online presence. So here, goals assessment. When we talk about goals assessment, this is where we go deep. You're going to work with a mentor and a business strategist together as the team behind you, with you, to analyze what are your goals? Where do you see yourself in the next 2 to 5 years? Because this is the foundation. Assess your goals and then start planning. You're going to develop your business plan, or I like to call it your life business plan, because we don't want to leave life out of it. Too many attorneys, professionals in general, they have the perfect business plan and they didn't consider the life. That's why I showed you the slide before where we're talking about life-work balance. So you'll need that. And brand development. So you go to brand development after you do an assessment. The assessment is where you want to be in the next 2 to 5 years. What type of client do you want to work with? What's your archetype? What's the perfect client that you want to work with? Is it a person? Is it a business? Although we know legally that businesses are persons as well. Is it an individual, or is it a business, right? Or a nonprofit that you want to work with? Who's the client? And then what area of intellectual property do you want to go into? Once you know all of that, then you jump into brand development, because now we know what language your client, your perfect client, speaks. We know what music they like. We know what colors stimulate them. We know how to bring them in. And understanding that, we develop the brand with you. And finally, in this module, is your online presence. Now that we know where you want to go, because we know your goals, we know who you want for your clients, right? And that's your brand development. Now we put you out there. So here's what some of our participants in Jumpstart are saying.
Overall, it has been a productive and enlightening learning experience. I had not before been able to apply a lot of the principles I have learned in my IP-related classes before. Also, I had not been able to do any business law-related work either. Because of that, I am very grateful that the program has provided me many opportunities to put into practice the things I've learned in a very particular sense. This comes from a United Kingdom lawyer who came to study for the LLM in the States.
Francisco, do you want to read the next one? You're muted, baby.
Yes, sorry. My personal growth was me realizing I need to make sure that my voice is heard, no matter if I feel like I am being annoying and asking for what I need to be able to do. Something is essential in life and something I am continuing to work on.
Thank you. Thank you. I love these two testimonials because we get testimonials pouring in all the time. So I'm glad the development team chose these two because they actually speak to what's happening in Jumpstart. What are your goals? Who are you? Where do you need to be? Right? And along those who are you and where you need to be, we're also considering your personal development. So I love that these two testimonials speak to that. Speaks to professional development, of course, but personal development as well, and how that stays with you, and how this particular attorney says that that's something that she's going to keep with her going forward. I love that. So then we have module 2. We call this module rollout. And so in rollout, that's the next 3 months. What you're focusing there is building upon the foundation that you set in module 1. You're building on it. Now you feel a little more confident. You see where you're going. You know who your client is. Now let's source those prospects, right? Sourcing prospects and launching the platform. So when you source the prospects, remember in module 1, you built your brand and then you focused on your online presence. At that point, you're going to start automatically getting clients. People are going to come to there, because intellectual property is so nuanced. So many businesses, so many entrepreneurs, so many individuals just need support. So they're going to come to you. But at this phase, after you're being almost overwhelmed with so many different types of clients, that's where you say, okay, yes, no, yes. And there needs to be one in there. Maybe we can get an image later that says yes, no, maybe, right? Because sometimes you're not sure. Maybe you want to date them a little bit. You want to give them a consultation and see how you gel together. So that's what this phase right here is helping you understand. Who is your fit? Because back in module 1, you may have determined that you like this particular client or you like this particular area of practice. But now in module 2, and they're flooding you, you'll be able to say yes, no, yes. And that's the area where you're sourcing your prospects. In addition to sourcing your prospects, you're launching your platform in this module. So this is where you'll work with your business strategist and your mentor together to create your launch. So in the past, we've done wine and cheese, where the attorney is just coming out to say, this is my firm, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing, and pretty much inviting everyone in their network. We've also had scenarios where someone is pretty familiar with the fashion industry and invites a bunch of designers, and they do, and the attorney teaches a DIY and how to dissect a particular contract. Whatever suits you. The point of your launching your platform is that you walk away with the clients that you want. Because remember, we're sourced them already. We already did the yes, no, yes, so we know who that person is. And so you might, in this instance where they invited them to a DIY and just teaching. Of course, at the end of something like that, where you're teaching designers how to dissect a contract, or teaching fashion designers about the importance or the nuances of patent, how you can get a patent for a piece of fashion work. Of course, by the end of that, that attorney walked away with a handful of clients, because having walked through the nuance of trademark, most designers decide, you know what, you do your intellectual property and I'll work on my design. But the point is, you've proven competency and you got a handful of clients at it. Do we have any testimonials for a rollout? Yes, we do. This one says, I learned how passionate the clients can be and how we as lawyers have to help them refocus, but at the same time feel heard. These are all professional skills that I use in my practice. So I love that, because this one is saying that once she launched her career, and her goal was to actually work at this particular company. Her goal was not to launch her own practice, but was to launch her career. And we were able to help her do exactly that. But I love how she says during rollout, she wasn't rolling out a firm, but she was rolling herself out, how she had rebranded herself. And then she takes the professional skills that she currently uses in her practice today. And we have another one.
A business compliance lawyer from JP Morgan who worked with us previously said, "This program taught me to persevere. I learned that now is the only time we have, so use it to work harder than ever to complete goals."
I like that. I like these testimonials that were chosen. Thank you to whoever chose them, because they perfectly fit with that. Because having gone through Jumpstart and the foundation is set, now you're at rollout. You've rebranded yourself, and these are what the participants are saying. Now that I've rolled myself out, these are skills that I've taken to my practice. And additionally, I love how this one says that working harder than ever to complete goals. So I like these two testimonials together because they marry professional development with personal development. And that is very key at ArtWorks. We focus on that because we always say there is no professional development without personal development. How can you grow and expand yourself professionally, holistically, unless you also do some self-assessment? And that happens in module 1 when we're doing goals assessment. We're also looking at ourselves. Who we desire to be does not start or end with who we are professionally. And then we go to module 3. This is your growth cycle. So this kind of feels like in these last 3 months that you're coming down, right? You've done all this hard work. I don't like to say hard. You've done all this joyful and intentional work, and now you're growing. You've worked out the kinks, and now you have a full team behind you to help you grow, whether that's a senior attorney that you need by your side, whether that's a mentor, whether that's your business strategist, whether you need a team of paralegals or admin support. At this point during growth cycle, you know that now it's all about expansion. Of course, during expansion, you're going to tweak a few things, but the goal is expansion. So when we talk about growth strategies, because that's what this module is about, we're talking about transactions. We want to increase transactions, because starting in day 1, you've already started to do transactions. That's the guarantee. We don't let you come here and not start transactions as soon as you need to, whether that's helping you expand your practice. If you already have if you already have clients and you want to expand that, or if you need some starter clients, we'll place them with you. At this phase, the last 3 months is about growth, multiplying what you've already proven to yourself works. And it's also about developing lasting relationships with your clients. We didn't help you get these clients for you to piss them off or for them to go away unhappy. By now, you've learned to deliver professional, competent service. And you want to focus on developing a lasting relationship with that client, assuming that client fits into your archetype. At this phase, sometimes you may determine, okay, that's not really the type of client I want. Maybe you are still working some kinks out, but the focus is growth strategy, expanding yourself. And then building upon that good relationship with the clients that you want to serve. I always say happy clients make happy referrals. And finally, mentorship. Mentorship is a key segment of growth strategies. Yes, you can grow on your own, you can, but we find that mentorship really helps because now you have someone that's walked in your shoes, someone that's already been there and done that. These are senior attorneys who've already been down that road. So you have someone to call and say, okay, I'm in the middle of this thing, I don't know what to do, right? And the mentorship piece is a very key component, even though you also have a mentorship from day one, is very key when it comes to growth. This is the person in your life that's going to help you balance your business strategist, because your business strategist is going to be on you. Your business strategist is going to be saying, hey, what about these benchmarks? You said you were going to have this to me in 2 weeks. Where are you on that, right? And just kind of press you with your responsibilities that you have made for the commitment to yourself. But your mentor is the one you're going to call and say, this guy is driving me crazy. I don't know what to do. Or this client is asking me questions. I don't know where I am in this. Give me some guidance. Mentorship is so important to being able to grow. In addition to growing transactions, because that's huge, mentorship helps you grow your network, introduce you to their network, give you ideas of how you can expand yourself, because that's what this phase is about. This module 3, is about growth. And then mentors are sincere. The mentors we have at ArtWorks, they're senior attorneys at the height of their practice, at the height of their profession, or some of them are settling down and they have a little bit more time. They want to give back. They understand how important intellectual property is. They understand how important the legal profession is. They're not ready to sit down yet. And so you have an opportunity to milk them of these golden nuggets. In addition, module 3 has ongoing trainings. So we start training at day 1, and by the time we get to the 3rd module, of course, the trainings continue, but they intensify because these trainings are focused on your growth. A lot of the trainings are substantive, different, discussing law, what laws have changed. We talk about copyrights and what that means and how it's applied to the different practice areas. We talk about patents. We talk about trademarks. All through the program, you have these ongoing trainings. But when you get to your growth section in module 3, these trainings are intense around how do you grow your business? How do you successfully grow your practice? And if you choose not to do an intellectual practice as a solo practitioner, how do you grow yourself? Now that you've landed that job, how do you grow yourself professionally and personally? Because a lot of times, many times, people go through this program and they have their heart set on this dream job. They don't necessarily want to have a practice. They have their mind set on this dream job. And when they get there, they realize there's no way for them to grow without that mentorship, without the ongoing trainings. And so this piece here is important for you to have hand in hand, even as you start a new job. Can I get the next slide, please? Can I get the next slide, please? After ongoing trainings, what's the next slide? Okay, yes, we discussed this part already. We're talking about trademarks, copyrights, licensing, publishing, patents, practice management, financial education and planning. I'm glad the slide is moving now. I guess we had a little glitch. But yeah, because I didn't talk about financial education as well as private wealth management. So I hope you understand those are the 3 modules. And that last module is huge. We're talking about growing yourself professionally, growing within your career, growing your practice. And these are proven growth strategies. And I always like to kind of emphasize the financial planning part, because a lot of times attorneys come into this training and then they're hit with a lot of clients. So we help them weed through who are your clients, the yes, no, yes, right? And now we focus on practice management. They're good there, but they're growing a little bit faster than they were prepared, right? And so the whole financial education piece is so important, whether you need to create a trust because you're gonna, this career is so lucrative, you're gonna need some education and planning on how you wanna set yourself up. Some people only wanna work 6 months out of the year. Some people only wanna work 3 months out of the year. How are you gonna do that? You can do that with proper planning. So for attorneys looking to land an in-house position or launch their own practice, this formula for success, it works. It's been tried, proven, it absolutely works. Oh, we have testimonials. Yes.
Okay, so now a managing attorney in content protection in Sony Music Entertainment has said, "I couldn't have gotten this position without your influence. It really opened my eyes to a lot of things, and it made me want to succeed even more. I just wanted to let you know how appreciative that I am of you and your work."
I love this testimonial because here we have another attorney that didn't necessarily want to launch their own practice, but they had a vision of where they wanted their career to go. They knew exactly the job that they wanted. They knew exactly the company they wanted to work with, and they were able to go through the modules and accomplish exactly that. Now, that shows that the program works. But what's so special about the program is, in this case, this attorney landed this job right out of law school. She hadn't had any other job as an attorney. In fact, she was able to land this job without even being licensed. Went through the program, saw what she wanted, and accomplished exactly what she wanted. But what's so special about this testimonial is the fact that although she was not a licensed attorney, as soon as she was licensed, she became the manager, right? So here you have someone right out of law school, not even licensed. Eventually she gets her license, I think within 3 months of landing this position. And remember, in those 3 months, now you're at your growth cycle. How do we help you grow, right? As soon as she's licensed, she becomes manager. And then she's managing attorneys that have 5 years, 7 years experience, and she's right out of law school. I love this one because it's a perfect example of what we focus on for ArtWorks. And then I think another testimonial popped up. Yes. So I love this one too. It says, my main goal was to gain practical experience in the field of intellectual property. I gained specific experience in IP litigation, trademark, patent, and copyright application, and gained better communication skills with clients. It was a wonderful experience in all aspects. I got a firsthand experience and had an extraordinary opportunity. Above all, in a respectful environment where I learned the importance of communication. So that was a mouthful, and that was a mouthful, but that's important to me because this particular attorney was coming from a completely different culture. He's focusing there on the importance of communication, and then clearly, and in writing his testimonial, he mastered that. But I love the fact that he's saying when he got to growth cycle, he was able to apply the skills that he learned, litigation, because that's what he was interested in. So we made sure he got some experience in litigation. Trademark, he wanted to know about that. Patents, he wanted to know about that. Copyright application, he wanted to know about that. So he was actually exposed through our trainings, all of that. And the beauty is, unlike the first attorney there that decided she wanted to go to Sony Music, he wanted to go to private practice. And that's what he did right out of law school. He came from another country, right, where he's established in his career, not a new attorney. He comes to this country, completely different rules. So it's like starting over and struggling with communication. So I love the fact that he's saying here that he was able to understand the importance of communication. Clearly, when you read that, he's mastered it and able to go right into private practice. So I like this. I like how these two were paired, where you have someone that wanted to do intellectual property with a particular company, and you have someone else that wants to go into private practice. I love how that's was brought together on this particular slide. So with ArtWorks, I'm going to read this slow because there's a lot of things going on. Here's what you get access to. You get office space. You get access to office space. And I do believe soon we will be going back to you working not just from home, but we will be back in our professional office space. Admin support. You get a business strategist, and marketing support. You get access to website hosting. How important is that? And social media, a social media manager. You also get research tools. In addition to research tools, you'll have a team of paralegals behind you who will definitely put those research tools into place, into good use. Financial contribution and fellowship application assistance. You also get mentoring on substantive legal issues and opportunities to shadow lawyers if you choose. You also get assistance and training with practice management issues, right? So we talked about being flooded. So you'll have someone there, a team behind you to support you in practice management. You'll get continuing IP legal education programming. You have to. Intellectual property is so nuanced. The law is nuanced and ever changing. And so we have continuing IP education programming for you. Then you have professional liability insurance, right? And then online networking and so much more. And when I look at this list, as a senior attorney myself, I right away hone in on admin support and paralegals, a team of paralegals, because in our industry, one of the biggest things is returning phone calls and putting together documents. You know, the legal genius part needs a team, right? So you need someone there taking notes with you, you know, in meetings, sitting there with you, with your client. You need admin support, and you need a team of paralegals behind you to do research as necessary. And what we don't often think about is the fact that you need a business strategist. We make sure you're covered in that. And then the next one that jumps out to me, is research tools. How expensive is that? I remember when I started out some time ago, and I was doing research, and for every keyword, as soon as I press enter to search, it was $300 right away. So I know legal research tools have not cheapened over time. They've actually gone up, even though they've gotten better, a whole lot better. And then the other thing is professional liability insurance. That's so important. Anybody can just do a little bit of research to find out how much professional liability insurance is, especially when it comes to intellectual property. ArtWorks provides that to you and gives you access to so much more. So if you're sitting there thinking, is ArtWorks for me? Or if I'm asking you, is ArtWorks for you? ArtWorks is for you. If you're an attorney who wants a surefire plan to build your business, you want an experienced support team guiding you every step of the way, providing answers as questions arise, this is for you. ArtWorks is for attorneys that want the fast path to attract clients, build your brand, and create revenue. If you believe that you fit anywhere in those where you want a surefire plan, if you want a team behind you, if you want someone to help you attract clients and build your brand, if you want someone most of all to help you create revenue in this extremely lucrative career, I would suggest that you schedule one-on-one time with me or one from our administration team, and we can explore deeper into your strengths and your weaknesses to help you become the best attorney you can be. It's simple. I always say it's simple. It took us years beta testing this program before we could actually launch it, all just to come around to say it's simple. But outside of ArtWorks, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. So here with ArtWorks, you'll have all the support and all the skills development you need to build a lucrative career, because ArtWorks is guaranteed to soothe and smooth your path to success. So I'm honored. I'm honored. I love this visual here because that's what we all need. I'm honored to be chosen by the board of directors, you know, that they had faith in me as founder. I'm deeply touched by that and the diligence of our development team. And I pledge to continue soothing the path to success. When I look at that image, that's what I think about. I remember when I was climbing alone, right? But ArtWorks gives you that helping hand. ArtWorks gives you all the tools that you need. So as we move full steam ahead, I'm asking you to join me. And if you're not an attorney or a soon to graduate law student, I want you to join me to inviting all the courageous, ambitious lawyers you know that are ready to help write the next chapter in legal history. So I believe, oh wait, there's more. Okay. Let's see, what's the more? Oh yes, we want to invite you to join our legal incubator. So after you go through the residency program, I thought it might make sense to allow new attorneys that just started their practice or attorneys that just landed the job that they want to be able to access all of these things. Remember that long list? To be able to access that level of support. And you can do that for up to 3 years if you believe you need additional mentorship, if you believe you need more practice management skills, or if you just want to network with your peers that have gone through the program, if you want to network with other mentors. We do offer to extend, not extending the residency program part of it because you completed that in 9 months, but you can join the incubator where you can come and take have access to all of that. If you want training, you want mentorship, if you want to continue that, you can do that for a full 3 years. And sometimes people aren't ready to go after the 3 years. And then I say, you know, we need to start thinking about training you to become a mentor because clearly you love the company culture here and you want to be a part of it. And so then we go into mentorship training. I like to start that as soon as possible after the program is completed, but definitely after about 3 years, if you decide that you want to stay on beyond 3 years, we definitely encourage consider being a mentor, because by then you've had a business strategist pouring into you. You've had a whole team pouring into you. You've had a mentor walking with you, pouring into you. You're going to be so full, you're going to want to pour into someone else. You're going to see attorneys coming behind you, experiencing the same things you've experienced, and you're going to want to help them. You're going to want to be that helping hand in the same way that you received the helping hand. And so, oh, now it's time for the Q&A. I think we have time for a few quick questions.
Yes, I have a question. Somebody asked, is IP international?
Is intellectual property international? Absolutely, absolutely. The way the United States Patent and Trademark Office is set up, once you've received, we're talking about trademark in this particular example, once you've received a registered mark, actually once you've been in the process, and it looks like you're pretty much going to get granted that mark to be registered, you are offered an opportunity to make it an international mark that will reach many countries throughout the globe. So yes, I do say intellectual property is international. You do have protection that extends around the globe, and that's so important right now, where everything's becoming global. So why not your career? And that's important to, I'm glad someone asked that question, especially during this pandemic, when nobody could go anywhere, nobody could do anything. The courts, I say the courts were shut down. Some people say, well, we still had a few admin in there, but the courts are not operating in full service. You know, I walked down to the court complex. The doors were locked. There were barricades out in front of the courts. So I know, and I also have colleagues in different areas that couldn't pursue their practice. And I just said, because all my intellectual property attorneys kept working. The USPTO did not close. The federal courts did not close. The United States Copyright Office did not close. You understand? So the global piece of it is huge. It is huge. And this program is for attorneys around the world, right? We have moved this program, well, the pandemic has forced us to move the program onto an e-learning platform. So you will have access to all of the amenities that we discussed, but yes, it is absolutely an international program, and intellectual property is international. Is there another question?
Yeah, we have one that says, how do you know if your logo or business name is already taken?
How do you know if your logo or business is already, either you saw somebody take it and you thought, okay, that was mine. Or a lot of times people don't know. They're in the process where they're getting their mark registered, or their name hasn't been properly reserved. And that's when you find out. So what we do here at ArtWorks, we do a thorough research for you. We search for you locally. What's going on with you locally in your state, within your city, within the area of the city, and then we take it nationally. What's going on throughout the country? We don't leave it there. We go into the USPTO database and we dig around and we look for anything that looks or sounds similar. After that, we even go to the World Intellectual Property Office and go into that database for you. We do everything we can in that search process to make sure your logo has not already been taken. And that's how you're gonna know. You're gonna come to ArtWorks. and as an attorney, we're gonna teach you the nuts and bolts of how to do a thorough search. A lot of times attorneys in other offices, they'll do a search, but they're absolutely not as thorough as this. And so what happens is your clients end up getting a little shocker. Either their objections at the USPTO because the examiner has found similar names that may be a problem, or if the examiner doesn't find it and you work all the way through, once it's published, you know, people that are serious about their mark and are policing their mark, they're going to be on it filing objections left and right. So we like to forestall that. We like to make sure before we begin the process, a thorough examination has taken place.
Okay, good.
Is there another question?
There's one more from me. I don't know if anybody else has the question. Is IP the niche, or is there a niche inside of IP? Like somebody choose the niche?
I'm sorry, can you state that again?
Is IP itself the niche in practicing law, or are there different levels of IP?
Well, intellectual property, or IP, is an area of the law. So within the law, you have criminal law, you have family law, you have business law, you have, I mean, you name it. There are different areas of law, but within that umbrella of the law, there's intellectual property. Within intellectual property itself, you have copyrights, you have patents, you have trademarks. But from our perspective at ArtWorks, that piece of intellectual property falls under business law, because what business doesn't have intellectual property that needs to be protected? In fact, one of the questions was, how do I know if my logo or my business name is already taken? So generally, that's going to fall under business law, intellectual property, all of the pieces to it. And even if you're an individual and not a business, it's still business law, because why are you creating it? You're creating it so that it can be profitable for you, right? That's what the overwhelming number of our clients invest in, creating their intellectual property, because they want it to be lucrative. They want to be compensated for their creativity. They want to be compensated for bringing that thought into manifestation, right? So I hope I'm not giving you too much information, but it cross-pollinates, because then if you move into fashion law, a designer, when you're looking at their work, you might say, okay, that pattern is unique, and that pattern can receive a copyright, right? But you also look at the name of the company or the logo and say, oh, that needs a trademark, right? Or I'm still in fashion right now, I haven't gone anywhere else. And then in addition to that, so we've already dealt with trademark, the name of the logo, right? That we've dealt with copyright, because the particular pattern within the fabric may need to be protected. Then you have patents. Patent applies to fashion law as well. You have wearable tech, right? You have adaptable wear, where patents are huge. So each area is a niche, right? But it all falls under business. How are we making these business transactions profitable? That's what intellectual property does. And I could talk about it forever, because I really love this stuff, but that's what the program is about. We take 9 months to make sure you understand all of that. We give you case studies where, just as I gave you the one example with fashion law, and I showed you how patents, trademarks, copyrights can all be fused into fashion law to protect your particular designer. We go into that and we go in deep, and it's a boot camp and it's intense. And sometimes people are like, oh, 9 months. No. You're going to wish you had a little bit more time, because that's how intense it is. And so I hope I answered the question.
A question from Facebook.
Okay. More questions are coming in. So the next one is, what is the procedure for an attorney to get started with your program, and is there a cost for the program?
Okay, so and what's the second part of the question? What's
Is
the
there a
procedure?
cost? What is the procedure, and is there a cost?
Oh, okay. Yes, go to, if this is for you, if you love intellectual property and know that you need some guidance, support, some mentorship, if you know you need a business strategist or a career advisor as you're growing and developing yourself in your profession, this program has to be for you, because it's the fast track to a lucrative career. People always say intellectual property is a very lucrative area. However, it takes forever for you to figure all of this out. So if that fits you and you want to be a part of what I call that legal army, protecting our creatives and promoting business, then you want to go to www.artworks.com and click apply. So when you click apply there, I wish I had, I could pull it up and I could walk you through the process, but you click apply and it's going to tell you what the requirements are. Where are you? Are you about to graduate, or have you already graduated? Are you licensed, or are you studying for the bar? All those questions are going to ask you. It's going to ask you about your school, and it's going to need some documentation. And there is a $100 application fee, which is completely refundable upon your being admitted to the program. So that's where you would go to artworks.com. No. ArtWorks Incubator. Pardon me. ArtWorks Incubator. ArtWorks is out there, a lot of ArtWorks, but artworksincubator.com and click apply. And to me, I think the application procedure is pretty simple, but if you have any problem, you can just click on the contact. And I think it's more, M-O-R-E, at artworksincubator.com. You can, ask a question. You may say, I'm having problems uploading my document, or I'm not sure. And someone will either get back to you by email or call you and just walk you through the process. ArtWorks is a small little family. This program is so intense that we cannot have a large group of people. So we're looking at just about 10 people to join the program, just about 10. And for the academics that understand what that is, your average, really intense PhD program for your dissertation is only going to be about 10, 12 people. So that falls right in line with that. And the reason is institutions want to protect their brand. They want to protect their brand by being able to hold the hands of the individuals that pass through. We got to know who you are, because when we say ArtWorks is guaranteed to soothe the path to success, we got to know that we know you individually. We know where you are to help you reach your goals, to help you in that particular assessment. So we only admit about 10 people. We keep it small. And so that's why if you email someone, definitely email you right back, or you can easily get on the phone with somebody and have a conversation. We don't let a lot of people in. This is just this one area. ArtWorks has 3 other programs, but within this program, that is our postgraduate program, we only let a few people in. So you will get that one-on-one that you need to soothe your path to success.
Great. We're getting more and more in, so we might have to spend a few days here. What are the types of candidates that you look for? And do you accept international applicants?
Do you accept international applicants? What's the process for international applicants?
Do you accept international applicants, and what types of candidates do you look for?
Oh yes, we do accept international candidates. We have a couple right now that we are putting through our application process, and the process is the same. It's absolutely the same. A lot of times international applicants are concerned about not being licensed U.S. attorneys, but that's not what this program is about. We have people come right out of law school, and we work with you to make sure. The goal of this program is to get you ready to grow yourself professionally and to launch your practice. And we have mentors everywhere that will guide you and support you. And like I was saying earlier, with the IP being international question, the program has been moved onto an e-learning platform. So no matter where you are on the globe, you can take advantage of this program. Even down to the mentorship, even down to the business strategy, you can take advantage of this program wherever you are on the planet. I would just advise you, whether you're international or local, whether you're in New York City, whether you're in Puerto Rico, whether you're in France, I'm using these because these are the calls that we've been receiving. Wherever you are, you can apply, but if you're not sure, just go log on and click contact. And that way someone will get in contact with you immediately so that you can schedule a one-on-one to discuss these further questions you may have, if you have further questions.
Okay. Is the workspace in the program optional?
It's optional to have workspace in the program. Is the
workspace, is it optional?
Yes, that's on the list of things that you have access to. So it's not, you do have access to it. It's not whether it's optional or not optional. It's a part of the program that you have access to office space.
Are clients provided by ArtWorks, or are they responsible for bringing their own?
Oh, we have a lot of questions here. A lot of our ArtWorks applicants already have clients because they've been, just when people find out you're a licensed attorney, they'll start asking you questions and you'll just pick up clients left and right. So a lot of times applicants don't know what to do with their clients, right? They don't have practice management going on. So they don't know what to do with their particular clients. We help you with that. For those that don't have clients yet, right? Because they haven't mastered that particular networking skill, we teach you how to network. We teach you how to source prospects. I think that's in module 2, where we talk about how you're going to get clients. In addition to that, while you're learning that, from day one, we give you clients. We furnish you with clients because ArtWorks is a nonprofit organization, and we are composed of a collaboration of attorneys, philanthropists, business leaders, right? That has collectively a whole lot of experience in those areas, and together positioning ArtWorks to be the leader for intellectual property. Therefore, ArtWorks, the organization, receives a lot of referrals from various organizations, from churches, from schools, from bar associations. ArtWorks receives a lot of referrals. And what do we do with those clients? We'd love to pass them on to you. I hope that answers that question.
Okay, and this is the last one.
Okay.
How I know you touched on COVID, but I want to make sure that this was answered. How will ArtWorks operate in the time of COVID? How will ArtWorks operate in the time of COVID?
It's essentially absolutely the same as we've always operated, except for the fact that what I said earlier is that the program has moved to an e-learning platform, right? So as far as our brick and mortar office, we follow all the guidelines set down by the CDC. It's just that right now, a lot of people prefer to do the program through the virtual system that we have set up. And that's been fun. You're able to get on a Zoom and talk to your mentor, or get on the phone and talk to your mentor. We do a lot of our lectures over that e-learning platform. We have our coaching sessions. All of that's been virtual. So we're pretty much functioning like most people right now until things calm down. And I don't find that the pandemic has put a damper on what we do. I actually feel that because so many people have been at home, it's not my feelings. Let me not say what I feel. This is my feelings. This is a reality. So many people have been at home, so creativity has expanded. And being an intellectual property attorney and working with the USPTO almost on a daily basis, I'm constantly sent notices from the USPTO, which recognizes that this creativity is off the charts. And so many people have so many ideas, and there aren't enough intellectual property attorneys to handle it. There aren't enough attorneys that are trained, that understand this practice area. And so for me, that's great. That's great for ArtWorks, because we are the only institution in the business of training attorneys in the area of intellectual property. We're the only ones that offer this full service to make sure throughout that residency program, when you get to the end, you're where exactly you want to be. You're walking with confidence. You have a team behind you. You have a mentor. You have a business strategist ready to focus you on intellectual property. It doesn't exist anywhere else. So when I get these notices from the USPTO or even from the United States Copyright Office or from the World Intellectual Property Office, when I get these notices, I just think, it's too bad we can only let 10 people in the program, because it's already expected to be an extreme explosion. And unfortunately, there aren't enough attorneys prepared to handle the level of creativity that's really jumped off during the pandemic, when people were home, coming up with ideas, creating, people that need a patent. What are they going to do? The USPTO right now is trying to figure out, what are we going to do with all of these amazing ideas? You know what they're going to do? Send them to ArtWorks.
That's it.
And I think that's it. Are there any particular comments that anyone wants to make? I think I've answered all the questions that were emailed in or sent in. Mr. Sten or Ms. Cesaro?
After you, Jeremy.
I was going to close it up. So, Fran, if you have a closing statement, feel free.
Well, after fielding all the questions and seeing all this interest, I just, I feel compelled to share a little bit of a story, because after I joined the ArtWorks team and I fell in love with the program, it reminded me of when I was a new realtor a long time ago, and I just so support industry related programs for newbies or just for people who are changing direction. And I took a program when I was brand new and knew nothing about the industry, because we don't learn in school what we're supposed to learn, what we're supposed to practice in real life. And I was introduced to this several month-long program, and it changed my life, Zen. And that's why I want to just make sure I tell other people that this is a gift that you're giving. It's a 9-month program that is going to change people's lives. And that's what happened to me. I reached the top 6% of my company in the world, and it was primarily related to that course that I took that gave me the foundation, it gave me the competitive edge, it set me apart from other people. And as you say, it's lucrative and it's less stressful and a lot more fun. And I think this is such a fantastic program. And the fact that you only take 10 people just amazes me that, you know, like people should be flocking into this because it's so exciting. But 10 people just sounds like, oh my gosh, how are we going to fit everybody in that wants this, because it's so great. And I just wanted to say that because I'm hearing all these people that are interested, and I'd love to see them all be part of the course.
Well, thank you for sharing that, because that's so important. It's so true. Most professions already have this sort of training in place, right? You don't graduate medical school and they let you out to start practicing neurosurgery, right? I'm glad you brought up your experience when you were in the real estate profession, where you took a training program to help you be not only become competent in your practice, but to provide a good service to the world. And so that's what ArtWorks is doing, is providing that gap where earlier in the discussion, I was saying ArtWorks fills that gap. And so it's so important. I'm glad you pointed that out. And I just got a little message. I think we have someone that's on that either came through the program or was able to witness the program. Miss Singh, are you there?
Hello, yes, hi.
Okay, hi. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good to see you again.
Me too.
Did you want to share something or had a question?
Yeah, I could share something.
Sure.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us and supporting ArtWorks Legal Incubator. I'm honored that Ms. Wasame invited me to speak to everyone here today. My name is Tia Singh, and I'm a member of the advisory board and the organization's first junior board member. My work at ArtWorks began in 2017, where I was initially given basic intern tasks. Within a short period of time, I was allowed to manage small projects. As a sophomore college student, I had no idea what I was supposed to do. So I stuck with what I knew best, researching. My mentor, Ms. Wasame, saw my potential and took the time to teach me how to organize data and compose documents. The educational environment made me want to engage in work more and more. Within the year, I assisted in supervising new interns and learning office protocols from an executive level. Today, as I often tell Ms. Wasame, I'm able to write well-organized emails and communicate effectively. Additionally, the experiences I gained from working and learning how to work in a legal environment has prepared me and given me the confidence to start a successful practice after law school. Thank you.
Thank you, Tia. I'm so glad you shared that. And Tia did participate in our undergraduate program, and coming in right away, a super bright star, very intelligent, extremely brilliant. And so what's great about Tia, even though she was in our undergraduate program, she was very intense about learning the protocols and the procedures and understanding how ArtWorks works, as well as intellectual property in general. She really dove into that. And I guess that's why she's on our advisory board today. But she dove into that so deeply that within a few months, she was actually helping to supervise the work, the legal research of attorneys. So I'm so glad you shared that. It's good to see you.
Me too.
And I want to thank everybody who was able to tune in. And I just want to say, apply. And if not you, I'm sure you have some contact with a very ambitious, attorney that's ready to help write that next chapter, to help be a part of an army, a legal army, protecting intellectual property rights and promoting creative businesses. Because what I said earlier, without that piece of creativity, the world is black and white. We're all in gray. We have no color. We have no music. We have no art. We have no invention. We have no science or technology. We have no life. So who would want to protect those creatives that are actually making our life that much more enjoyable, particularly in the era of COVID, where we're distanced from each other and listening to music, taking advantage of our devices? We wouldn't be able to do this right here without creatives. So think about that. And if it's for you, apply today. artworksincubator.com. If you have questions, you can schedule a one-on-one with any of us to discuss further. If you have questions, you're not sure if during the time we're presenting today, you feel that your questions are answered and you're ready to apply. If 5 minutes later after we've gone off of this stream, you say, wait, I have something else I want to ask, go ahead and contact us. And there's the contact information up right there. And I'm just hoping to see you on that leading edge of ArtWorks. So have a good afternoon. Thank you.